A very warm welcome to one and all. This is your Sir Hassan. Today I'm not going to teach you anything, my dear students, but rather going to share you how do you prepare for your unit test. Now let me make it very clear, my dear students, that you have a 10 marks paper in the form of a Google form. You'll be having an option where there will be three options, and out of the three options you need to correct the right one. Now when you're choosing the correct option, see to it that you only choose it once. Once you have selected the correct answer, please make it a point to send the Google form as earliest as possible. There are total in all 10 questions, and these 10 questions you'll have to select the right answer, one right answer for each of them. Now you are going to send this only once. You cannot send it again and again. And please make a note of it that after your paper time is over, you cannot send this form. So please be very sure, and humble request to my dear friends of standard 8, please try to be honest and sincere with your exam. If you still have any doubt, now today I'm going to send you only the notes. Many of you were writing me, sending me on WhatsApp and even on YouTube, sir, when are you going to give us notes? Now please let me make it very clear, my dear students, that you don't need to worry about these notes. This unit test, you're going to have MCQ, that is multiple choice question. Whereas your first semester, you'll have a full-fledged paper. So this notes is not for your this unit test. In the sense, only you'll have option, that is MCQ questions, and it will be very easy if you have followed all my videos. So please make it a point that you go through all the videos and read all the fill in the blanks, answer in one sentence, so you have an idea as to give the answers correctly. So can I proceed to the next? Now if you see, this is chapter number 1, which we have already discussed long back, the sources of history. The very first question is says, rewrite the statement by choosing their appropriate options. Now you'll be given three options. Even in your textbook you have the same. Now you are going to prepare a 100 pages notebook, a brand new notebook, where you'll write down the name of the chapter number 1 in the index page, always on a brand new page on the right hand side. Now you don't need to put the date. And then question number 1, you'll write it down. You'll write down the complete sentence statement, beta. Please remember, when you will have your written paper in the school, you will have to write the complete sentence, and this is also applicable for your first semester examination. So should I proceed further? The first fill in the blank. Among the historical sources, audio visual. So your first answer for your first fill in the blanks is audio visual. Now please remember the three alphabets NCC. Write neatly, correctly and clearly. A humble request to all my dear students, please use a blue ball pen or an ink pen, but not the black, blue. I repeat it again, among the historical sources, audio visual sources are based on modern technology. The second fill in the blanks. The Aga Khan Palace is a museum in Pune which gives information about the history of Mahatma Gandhi. So the answer is the Aga Khan Palace. A unique discovery of modern technology in 20th century is films. Now many a times in some of the notes it's given as photographs. So please don't get confused. It is films. So the first answer is audiovisual, second answer is Aga Khan Palace, and the third answer is films. Now proceeding further with the next question, the next slide. During the British period, newspaper also acted as a source of social reformation. Answer, I'll go slow so that you can copy it down. As I said, newspaper can be defined as a printed means of conveying CONVEYING, of conveying current information. It is the proud institution of the society, and its basic function is to provide information, education, entertainment. The British period was marked by severe government control and censorship. If some newspapers print any news against the government, then the strict penalty was given. Therefore, in the late of 18th and 19th century, no reputed journalist or newspaper emerged. The newspaper acted as the source of social information or social reformation. So if you write social information or social reformation, both is right. Okay, my dear students, I hope you have written the answer in your notebook. Should I proceed to the next? Audiovisual recording are considered as the most trustworthy source for the study of modern Indian history. Answer: audio literally means hearing and visual means that, now here there is spelling error, that which is found by seeing and hearing. Audio visual aids are also instructional material which makes the knowledge clear to us. They are considered as the most trustworthy for the following reasons: make learning situation as soon as possible. For example, in the case of studying the history of Indian freedom struggle, it becomes more real when the video clips of the freedom fighters are shown. You just copy it down. I'm waiting for you so that I can proceed to the next answer. The next, that is, write short notes on the first one, that is photographs. Photography is the communication without letters. The intention of photography, according to the situations, it has different roles in different period of time. It takes up great responsibility in society during the time of social emergencies. I'll again wait for you so that you copy down. The next is museums and history. The museum is an institution that tells the story of the man to the world over and how humanity has survived in its environment over the years. They are agents of change and development and future research. They are instruments of progress as they preserve actions and events in history. They help in promotion and a better, just cancel that one, better, and a better understanding of its heritage. The museum target is teachers, students, youth, again the youth spelling here, why is not there, and women organizations through popular forum discussions. They work as material sources of study that helps in detailed learning. Again, I'm waiting for you so that you can copy it down. Now, please remember, my dear students, you have now in standard 8. So be little faster in writing down. Your speed of writing needs to improve, because from 8th standard onwards, you will not have teacher writing every small detail on the blackboard. Rather, the teacher will dictate you the notes and you need to copy it down. Done? Now let us go to the next. Audio sources. Audio sources are captured sound on a recording medium for preservation and reproduction. Audio sources have reached to its digital era in the current period. Audio sources are components that play back audio. It has very important role in the field of education, information, entertainment and research. Audio sources can be made intentionally and unintentionally. Sound recording and its reproduction are defined as an electrical, mechanical, electronic, or digital inscription. I'll repeat it again: digital, DEGITAL, inscription, and recreation of sound waves. I'll again wait for 30 seconds here. So we proceed to the next. Now in the last you can see there is a question: complete the following web. What are the different material sources? So you can write it down: books, monuments, museums, buildings, cities and neighborhood, goods and products, transport, clothes. I'll again wait for you people. Kindly draw the diagram with the pencil beta. Now please remember, in history, whenever you have a concept map or draw the following web, you are going to make a use of a pencil and a nice scale. Draw this diagram, and whatever the writing work is done, what you can see the writing of books, what you can see in the pink color, I would rather say in a simple language, what you see in the pink color needs to be done with a pencil, and all that which is written in black needs to be written with a pen. Now here you are going to use, again I'm repeating it, you're going to write only and only with a blue pen. After your first unit test gets over, I'll give you a time of, let's say, 4 days, and I'll ask you to write down all the notes, click the picture of it, convert it into PDF and send the notes so that I can correct and I'll allocate you the marks. And this I'm telling it to all the 3 classes: 8th A, 8th B and 8th C. So I'm waiting for you to finish so that I can proceed to the next chapter, that is chapter number 2 of history. As I promised you that the next lecture will totally where I'll give you the notes. Now please don't start writing the notes now. You concentrate on your exam first. Finish with your unit test, and after you complete your unit test, then you start writing. Now the shops are open, my dear students. So what you can do is you can buy the book. See, this is what happens when, we as teachers are learning a lot, my dear students. So can I begin with the second chapter now? So we have completed the notes of chapter number 1. Proceeding to next chapter, that is chapter number 2. Chapter number 2, Europe and India. Write down the name of the lesson in the index as well as on a brand new page. Please don't mention the date anywhere. Later on I'll tell you what you have to write. But right now only write down the name of the lesson. Please write, again I'm repeating it, write neatly, correctly and clearly. So the second chapter, Europe and India. Question number 1. See, what you can see in green is the answer. You're given with option. So the same formula you will have it for your exam, where you'll be given 3 options. Here it is 4, but in exam you'll have 3 options. You have to just select the one which is right. Okay, my dear students. So the first, fill in the blanks. In 1453, the city of Constantinople, Constantinople, Constantinople was conquered by Ottoman Turks. The second one, Now, please remember, this is very, very important. You need to remember this fill in the blank beta till you complete your 10th, because in detail we are going to discuss about the Industrial Revolution in the 9th standard and the 10th standard also. The Industrial Revolution began in England. Remember this answer. The Industrial Revolution began in England. The next, Sirajud Dawla, Siraj, Siraj, Ud Dawla tried to put restrictions on the illegal trade of British. I hope you're writing down little faster, beta. As I said, please increase your speed. The next, explain the following concept. Now, please remember, my dear students, when you have this kind of thing where you need to explain the concept, you need to understand as to what is the meaning of the word. Okay, here I have given you as to what is colonialism. By definition, colonialism is the policy or practice of acquiring full or partial political control over another country, comma, occupying it with settlers, comma, and exploiting it economically. So, waiting for you. Write it down. So, the next, imperialism. Imperialism is a policy of extending a country's power and influence through colonization, use of military force, or other means. The new age of new imperialism began in the 1870s in Europe. Imperialism in the 16th to the early 19th century is now termed Old Imperialism. European states established vast empires not only in Africa but also in Asia. I hope you're writing, my dear students. The next, Renaissance. Now, please remember this word also till standard 10 because we are going to discuss in detail. Now, reminding you about the revolution and Renaissance. The first revolution took place in France. The first industrial revolution took place in England. And this is something extra that I'm providing you. The first Renaissance began in Italy, though the word, it's a French word which means rebirth. It was like a rebirth of art, sculpture, painting, perspectives, etc. This period in European civilization can be characterized by an urge of interest in classical scholarship and values. The Renaissance also witnessed the discovery and exploration of new continents. The Renaissance was a cultural movement that initially began in Florence, Italy, as I said in the beginning, but later spread throughout Europe. It started around 1350 and ended around 1600 BC. During the Renaissance period, people experienced changes in art, learning, and many other things. Please copy down. I hope you have completed, my dear students. Going on to the next. Explain the concept capitalism. And economic and political system in which a country's trade and industry are controlled by private owners for profit rather than by the state is called capitalism. Now this you will also have in your economic subject, where you will have geography and economics in standard 9th. I hope you have completed it. The next. Explain the following statement with reason. Now, let me make it very clear. In the beginning of the year, initially you used to have just give reason. Now you'll have give reason, but you have to explain as to why the incident took place. Even in 9th and even in the 10th, we'll have the same concept. Initially, we used to only write on paper, give reasons. But now you have to explain with the statement the reason. So the first question, Sirajud-Dowlah was defeated in the Battle of Plassey. Answer, the Battle of Plassey was a decisive victory of the British over the Nawab of Bengal and his French allies on 23rd June 1757, under the leadership of Robert Clive. The battle enabled the company's presence in Bengal, which later extended to cover much of India over the next 100 years. Please copy down. Again, I am repeating it. Write neatly, correctly, and clearly. The next. The European countries felt the necessity of finding new trade routes to Asia. Answer, the European countries started finding new trade routes between 1400 and 1500. It is usually termed as European exploration. The reason for this exploration are many European nations were in constant conflict with each other as they struggled to increase their power and wealth. Because of these struggles, many of the European nations believed trade with other countries in Asia was the best way to increase wealth. See, in the board exam, beta, when you'll go to standard 10th, in the board exam, you'll have the question where you will at least need to write 2 points for give reasons. Okay. Come on, hurry up, write fast. Done? Let's go to the next. This is, I will say, not a very big answer, but yes, compared to the other classes now, see, now make it a habit better, because now in history you'll have answers, where you need to write in brief, which will be almost 80 to 100 words. You can say almost one side of a full-scape paper. So please develop the habit of reading big answers. European rulers started giving military protection and trade concessions to the trading companies. In the middle of the 16th century and the middle of the 18th century witnessed the expansion of India's overseas trade. This was due to the trading activities of the various European companies which came to India during this period. European rulers started giving military protection and trade concessions to the trading companies because if conflict happens with Indian rulers, it will become difficult for the European traders to keep their business They wanted to separate trade and conflict from Indian politics. Third point, the European rulers wanted to sole right to trade with the East without competition from other British traders. The fourth and the last, trade concessions were given as the incentive to the trading companies so that they remained to their rules and regulations in trade. Please copy, I'll give you little time more. And where there are points, please beta, here I have not put it in different line, but when you are writing in your notebook, please write it point wise. Point number 1, point number 2, point number 3 and point number 4. Hope you have completed. Moving on to the next. If you have not completed, but you can pause and you can write and then you can move to the next question. Now this, again I like to bring it to your notice, my dear students. Now when you have, as I said in the beginning, the web diagram or complete the following table, all the lines what you can see, you need to draw it with what? You need to draw it with a pencil. Whereas all the writing work, you're going to do it with a pen. So you can see, you can name it as column A and column B. So in the column A, you can see the name of all the three travelers, Bartholomew Dias, Christopher Columbus and Vasco da Gama. While on your right hand side, you can see Bartholomew Dias reached to the tip of South Africa, Christopher Columbus reached America, and Vasco da Gama reached to west coast of India, Calicut port. So draw a nice diagram, take your time, draw it. You can put a pause, complete this, and then we can proceed to the next chapter, that is chapter number 3. My only request to each one of you beta is please write neatly, correctly and clearly. Now you are at home, you can take your own time to complete it. But as I said, I am giving you 5 days. Total, how many chapters you are going to write in the notebook? 4 chapters. How many days so you are giving us? I am giving you 5 days. So even every day on an average, if you write 1 chapter beta, I am very sure you will be able to complete all your notes. But make it a habit or practice of writing. And whenever you have time beta, read the textbook, read the lesson. And always make it a habit to write the complete sentence, no shortcut. Many of you, even in the exam, you only write answer. Let me tell you, in board exam, if you only write answer, no marks are given, you will be directly given 0. So from now, from standard 8 itself, you make it a habit to write. Okay? So, moving on to the next chapter, that is chapter number 3 of history. And what is the name of the chapter? 3 Effects of British Rule. Again reminding you, write down the name of the lesson in the index. Please remember beta, always first write down the name of the lesson in the index. Then take a brand new page. Now when I say a brand new page, some of you have a very bad habit. I'll not say all of you, but few of you. You start writing, even if one line is saved, you start writing from that line. No, take a new page beta. Write down the name of the topic, index, as well on a brand new page. Don't write the date again, I'm repeating it. And then write down the first question. I hope by this time you have completed writing down the name of the lesson. So the first, fill in the blank. You can see again, rewrite the statement by choosing the appropriate options. Portuguese, dash, French, British participate in the competition of capturing Indian market. You can see the answer in green, Dutch, D-U-T-C-H. And when you are underlining the answer or fill in the blank beta, again repeating it, underline it only and only with pencil. No sketch pen, no marker, no highlighter. Okay. So in your entire notebook from chapter number 1 to the last chapter of history, you're going to write with blue pen and you're going to underline it with a pencil. Remember that. Your web diagram, your table. Portuguese, Dutch, French, British participated in the competition of capturing Indian market. The second one, in 1802, Peshwa Bajirao II. So here the answer is Bajirao. The second you can also call it as. Bajirao II signed the subsidiary alliance with the British. Again, beta, please check your spellings. Avoid cancellation. Whosever notebook is going to be beautiful, you will be not only appreciated, but I will also give you a certificate. That you have a beautiful handwriting. The next. Now this is again a very, very important question. Jamshedji Tata started the manufacturing of steel at Tata Iron and Steel Industry, established in Jamshedpur, J-A-M, Jamshed, S-H-E-D, Shedpur, P-U-R, Pur. As you're listening to me, beta, see that you don't stop your pen. Keep writing. Increase your speed. Write neatly, correctly, clearly. I hope you have completed. Moving on to the next. Again, explain the following concept. First, civil services. It is the permanent and rigid parts of a country or state's regime. Civil services include the governing and administration of the state's crucial functions, which are mostly decision making. It is responsible for solving the day to day issues of public and the common man. It includes the normal and civilian population and excludes the elected politicians, the military, and the judicial services. Write it down. Underline the word civil services. Put a colon and then write answer. I hope you are following the instruction, my dear students at home. In the classroom, I always keep a check. I take a round, that all are writing. But here, I have no choice. Only when you'll complete your notes, I will send you how you're going to convert your notes into PDF and then upload it. Okay. The next. Commercialization of agriculture. Now again you see, earlier what farmers produced was only for their sustainability. Sustainability, sustainability. But after the British came, they turned towards India for the crops like indigo, cotton, jute, bamboo, tea, and coffee. The farmers were pressurized to produce large quantities of produce for the Britishers as the demand of indigo had increased on a large scale. Hence, now the crops and the produce, the E is missing there, my dear students, and the produce was cultivated by the peasants and the farmers was now used for sale in the national and international market and not for their own livelihood. The commercialization of agrarian society started after the 1800 1800. Write it down. I'm waiting for you to complete. Done. Moving to the next. Economic policy of British. The main economic policy of the British government was land settlement and the zamindari system. Because of both these policies, the Indian agriculture became very obsolete, OBSOLETE, and backward. All the produce was taken by the rulers of British India. This made the farmers angry, but they could not do anything. The farmers had to pay exceptionally high taxes, because of which they also had a huge amount of debt. The zamindari system had looted a lot of farmers of their produce and growth. Thus, this was a major drawback of this policy. Come on, students, we have to still write one chapter of civics after this. Be quick. Moving on to the next. Explain the following statement with reason. Farmers in India became bankrupt. Answer. Farmers took a loan from the money lender, and as the middleman, just cancel the word the, and as the middlemen who exploited the farmers had to sell their products at a low price to the merchants. They had to sell in whatever price it was demanded. The farmers had to mortgage their land. When they could not pay their loan back to the money lender, this led to a terrific cycle of taking more loans, which eventually led to bankruptcy. Bankruptcy. Full stop. In case of non-repayment loan, the farmer had to sell his land. The next. Now again, this answer is, I'll say, slight bigger. There was a decline of traditional industries in India. The Indian traditional textiles industries had a decline because of the following reasons. The first one, now you can see here how the answer is written in points. So this is how even in your notebook you are going to write. I hope it is clear, my dear student. The first point, the products of India had a high demand in Europe, so the British imports product in Europe. The second point, the textile industries were not allowed to flourish in India. The third one, the British government obtained huge taxes on goods exported from India. Also, the goods manufactured in England were machine made, and hence there was a maximum production at minimum cost. Full stop. Complete. Continue. Sorry. To compete. Now this word is wrong here. Just remove the L. COMPETE. Don't write L, my dear students. To compete. Eventually, it led to closing down of traditional industries and many artisans became unemployed. Again, reminding you, the word is to compete, not complete. COMPETE. The L, I'm sorry, kindly don't write complete, it is compete. You also compete with one another in the class. I hope you are writing, my friend, neatly, correctly, and clearly, and your speed by this time, chapter number 3 has increased. Now, many of us sitting at home, we are not writing rather anything. Even your unit test is not going to be a writing paper. But please remember, your first terminal paper will be a writing one. A humble request to all my dear students of 8th standard, while you are completing your notes, please just listen. Kindly like and subscribe the lesson. If you have any feedback, please send it. Okay, done? Moving on to the next. Now again you can see, this is complete the following table. We are going to take a pencil, draw margin, draw the lines, and then write. You have to just, enlarge it so that, it is a little clear for you. I'm trying here. So you can see the first one. So on the left hand side, you'll write the name, and on the right hand side, you'll complete the statement. Lord Cornwallis, he passed many reforms which helped the Indian workers. He raised the salaries of the employees, reduced the revenue. He recognized the judiciary and revised administration system in India. The second one, Lord William Bentinck passed Sati Prohibition Act. Third one, Lord Dalhousie, non-regulation system and centralization of Indian territories, as he wanted the consolidation of British India. He was the father of railway, introduced by him in 1853 from Bombay to Thane, which is presently called as Mumbai. So Mumbai to Thane. And the last one, William Jones, established Asiatic Society of Bengal. So let's complete this table. So with this table, we come to the end of chapter number 3 of history. On an average, it should take you 15 minutes to write down the notes of one lesson. This is what my judgment is when I tell the students, I give them a time setter. So kindly complete, giving you a little extra time because you have to draw the diagram and all. And then we'll start with the first chapter of civics. So we have already completed, I have completed the explanation of the 3 chapters of history, and I have completed the explanation of the first chapter of civics. In the next chapter, I will discuss first with you what is being deleted, and then we'll continue further. I'll discuss with you what is going for the first term exam, and I will only tell you once you complete your notes. Till and until you don't complete your notes, I will not teach the next chapter, and you will only have 5 days in your hand to complete it, my dear students. So please, as soon as your exam gets over, you should be ready with your notebook, and after 5 days, I will send you how to convert your notes into PDF. You can take help from your brother, sister, dad, mom, and I'll give you a mail ID and you need to forward it to me. I'll check all the notes. Don't cut, copy, paste. Handwritten notes I want. Okay? Thank you very much. So we completed the 3 chapters of history. Now let us go to the next, that is civics. Okay? We have completed the first chapter of civics. So you're not going to divide your page. Many of you have the habit of folding one page, making the book into half. No making the book into half. Immediately the next page, you'll write down only on the top civics. Write it again in the index as the name of the lesson, and next to that in the bracket you write it down civics. So you know that the three chapters 1 to 3 is history, and the fourth one that you're writing, chapter number 1 of civics it will be. So what is the name of the chapter number 1? You're going to do is you're going to write down the name of the topic and then start writing with the objectives. So write down the name of the lesson in the index as well as on a fresh new page. Again, you write down the name, choose the correct option and rewrite the statement. Please copy down the complete sentence, beta. Don't write FIB. FIB has other meaning also, food industry and business. But here you have to write down the complete sentence. Again, after writing the complete sentence, you'll write the answer, and please don't write in caps. Here I'm sorry again, England is written in capital, all the words, no. Only the first word will be capital, the first alphabet, and NGLAND all will be small. First one, parliamentary system of government developed in England. Please remember this, very important question. So if in the exam you get a question like this, you have a 3 option, remember that the parliamentary system began where? It began in England. The second one, in the presidential system, Prime Minister is the executive head. I hope you are writing, my dear students. And then again take a pencil and draw this diagram, the table, that is name of the institution and the functions. There are actually 3. The legislature, the executive and the judiciary. The third one, you need to write it down by yourself. I've given you 2 here. The third one, you will search it from the textbook. Now also better make it a habit, this is just, I'm trying to start with something, you need to search your textbook, and for that you need to read your textbook. So the third one I have not given it to you, judiciary. So what are you going to do? You're going to write it by yourself. From where, sir? From the textbook. So make that table, name of the institution, you can see, I'll just enlarge it because legislature, oh, so sorry. Okay. Making, amending and replacing of law. Laws are made as bills. Bills are approved as laws. Executive, implementation of the laws made by Parliament. And the third one, as I said, judiciary, you're going to write it all by yourself. If you have any doubt, you can ask me and I can surely clarify your doubts. But it is very easy. Done? Let's go to the next. Explain the following statement with reason. India adopted the parliamentary system of government. Answer. The parliamentary system of government developed primarily in England. we can see some broad similarities in the parliamentary system of England and the parliamentary system of India. The characteristics of the Indian government. The parliamentary system is a system of governance. The legislature of the central government is known as the parliament. The Indian parliament was composed, now again remember this last line beta. The Indian parliament was composed of president, Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. So the Indian parliament comprises of Lok Sabha, first president, Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. Come on, write it down. Done? So proceeding to the next. Discussions and deliberations are important in a parliamentary system of government. The parliament is a legislative elected body of government. Discussions and deliberations are an integral part of the parliamentary form of government. Questions related to public welfare are discussed in the legislature. Members from the opposition party also can take part in these discussions. Opposition parties may support the government wherever appropriate, point out shortcomings in policies and laws, put up studied arguments and questions, etc. This helps the legislature to make proper laws. Come on, hurry up, students. Be quick. Again, reminding you, write neatly, correctly, and clearly. The next one, answer in 25 to 30 words. Now, please remember, this is like, till 5th, 6th, 7th, you had answer in 1 or 2 sentences. Okay? So, what is a responsible government? Responsible government is a conception of a system of government that embodies the principle of. Now, please check here the spelling. Many of you do blunder, error, mistake. Here the principle is Principle, whereas when you write the school principal, it is Principal. But many of you were writing, a letter to the principal, you write this principle. So Principle. I repeat the answer. Responsible government is a conception of a system of government that embodies the principle of a parliamentary accountability, the foundation of the Westminster system of parliamentary democracy. A responsible government cannot carry out functions as per its whims and fancies, as it is directly responsible to the parliament. Okay? Come on, hurry up. I hope you have completed, my dear students. Moving on to the next. Enumerate the characteristics of the presidential system of government. The characteristics of the presidential system of government is, in a presidential form of government, the legislature and the executive are not directly dependent on each other. The houses of the legislature and the president are directly elected by the people. The president is the executive head and has lot of powers, including power to implement laws. In spite of such a structure, the legislature and the executive keep a check on each other. This mutual control over each other can lead to a responsible government. Now you'll say, sir, 25, 30 words. Sometimes the answers are quite big. When we meet in the class, I'll try to cut short it down. But write down. But right now you write the entire answer. Okay? Many of you panic, sir. Bapre, the answer is so big. Moving on to the next. So with this, we come to the end of 3 chapters of history and 1 chapter of civics. Many questions of the lesson, though given, may be deleted for your exam. So wait for the further instructions. But right now, you will copy down all the notes. I promise you to give you the paper pattern before your first semester exam. I'll give you time to clarify all your doubts. Just we are waiting for the school to reopen. But be very sure that every detail will be provided by all the teachers. You only need to do 2 things, my dear students. Keep yourself upgraded. Go through the textbook, especially as I always say. Read the lesson. Remember the 3 R: read, review, and recap. So you've completed the 3 chapters of history and the first chapter of civics, that is the Indian Constitution. So when we meet in the next video, I will discuss in detail about the next chapters that we are going to discuss with, so that you are mentally prepared for these lessons. I hope, my dear students, though I was little faster, but sometimes it becomes very difficult, to wait for a longer period of time while recording. But yes, I made here one student to sit and write down the notes as a kind of a practice. I'm even thankful to him for helping me with this. Now, please, for your unit test, if you have any doubt, any clarification you require, just send a message on WhatsApp to your class teacher and request the class teacher to please, send those questions to me so that I can clarify your doubts only through your class teachers. Wish you all the best for your first unit test. The first time even we teachers are going to be correcting the papers online. Wish you all the best. Be honest and sincere while you are writing your paper. It doesn't matter, beta, even if you get 1 or 2 marks, but be honest. But if you are going to copy and get full 10 on 10, it will not serve the purpose. So wish you all the best. God bless you. Take care. Again a reminder, kindly complete your notes after your first unit test gets over and not before that. But I'll give you 5 days time. Thank you very much. God bless each one of you. All the very best.